but then it got stolen for the mainstream, so we're here with what was actually my second choice, which is Marinelord, the Red Protoss player representing Millennium in the south, against Jakji, the Blue Terran player in the northwest corner of the map, representing my Insanity. So, pretty cool match here. TVT, I think it's our first TVT all day, and really excited to see what we're going to see out of these two guys. TVT is by far just behind TVZ, I would say, in terms of my favourite matchups. I think TVT is just so... The thing about TVT is actually it's got a diversity which TVZ does not. Because not only can you play bio or mech in TVT, and you then end up with bio versus bio, or mech versus mech, or bio versus mech, you can also... You can see so many different openings into this style of play, and the best thing as well is, as the game goes on, there's also later game transitions as well. There's later game compositions which are so awesome and so great to watch. And basically that is the transition into Sky Terran, of course. And there's just so much which goes together, which comes together to create a fantastic TVT. So, really excited to see a TVT between these two guys. Marinelord has already 2-0'd the Muslim today. Now, many would say Jakji is on another level of perhaps both of these players, but let's see if Marinelord can put up a bit of a challenge. It's going to be a gas first on either side of the map. Both players heading to factories pretty quickly here. Was this a gas first over here? No, it wasn't a gas first by Jakji. Looks as though it's probably just a 13 gas. So, slightly later factory for Jakji. Slightly less aggressive, but he is going into second gas compared to Marinelord here, who's just heading into Marine, Hellion, and probably Medevac production. So, Marinelord's going to get aggressive very, very quickly with probably just this one-base kind of pressure build with the Hellions, with the Marines, with the Starport to drop as well. It's also a very safe build. You know, if anything comes at him from Jakji, he's probably going to be able to hold on. He can get some mines out to help him defend. He can get a Viking out if he needs to defend too. It's a very good build to transition into pretty much anything from. This combination of 1-1-1 can do so many different things, and that's what's so great about TVT, because that 1-1-1 composition gives you so much diversity. And you don't even have to open... Like, you could literally have, what, a 1-1-1 against 1-1... Oh! Marinelord, bit of a mistake there. But you could literally have, like, two Terrans play 1-1-1s against each other all day and different varieties of 1-1-1 openings. And you wouldn't get bored because they'd be different each time, because there's just so many different things you can do. Like here, Jakji, he's going for a Raven first, and he's going for mines as well. So... this is kind of a very kind of defensive 1-1-1 where he's just going to pump out a lot of Marines, he's going to get mines for defense as well, and he's going to have a Raven for detection, so it's a very defensive kind of opening, and he can probably go into tanks from here too, whereas you can see Marinelord is getting much more aggressive with his 1-1-1 opening. He's got a Medevac over here, he's got a Hellion on the ground as well to help him out, and you know, he's actually got two Hellions altogether because one of them is in the Medevac. Ooh, this mine, did it see that? Surely it did, and well, Jakji is going to start getting dropped here, and is he going to be able to hold on? I don't think so. No, he shouldn't be. Yeah, he's going to actually have to pull SCVs here. Oh my god, Jakji's going to lose a fair few SCVs to this little bit of an attack from Marinelord. This Hellion gets one more shot off on a couple more workers, and that was pretty fab for Marinelord. He now goes up 7 worker advantage, and he's got a faster expansion. Whoa, that's crazy. Oh no, and then the mine grabs the Medevac on its way out. A little bit of a kick in the teeth to Marinelord after doing such a great job, but you know, this comes back to the beauty of TVT, and the thing is, Jakji's opening is more or less designed, I feel, to shut down any kind of Banshee openings, and look at this, he's actually now going into Banshee production himself, instead of just rushing into, say, you know, into his other techs and whatever he wants to do next in the game. He's going to go for this Banshee tech, and that could definitely catch Marinelord off guard. He doesn't have a Raven of his own. He is making a Viking. It all depends, you know, how much does he save his scans. Because right now he doesn't have an engineering bay. So there aren't going to be any turrets coming down. This tech lab could be used for a Raven. Let's see if the barracks lifts up. And it does. So it looks as though there's probably going to be a starport on the tech lab for a Raven here from Marinelord. So, you know, he's going to be okay in the near future. Not quite immediately, but, you know, he'll get there. Jakji takes tower control with a single Marine right now. And a Banshee heading across the map right now as well. But it needs to be very careful. There's 3 Vikings here already by Marinelord, establishing a huge sky presence early on in this game. This Banshee spotted and 3 Vikings going to come in and intercept it almost immediately here. Jakji doesn't have cloak for how much longer? 5 more seconds? Yes, and these Vikings are going to come in and hit, and that's 1 shot, that's 2 shots, that's a 3rd shot. The cloak goes down just at the last moment, but still, it almost renders this Banshee useless. Apart from the fact it can still maybe do a little bit of damage at the natural here. Well, probably not. It's probably going to get scanned. Is there a scan? Yes, there is. There's plenty of energy for a scan. So it should be a scan. Bye-bye, Banshee. 1 worker kill. Not worthwhile. Worker in a scan. Yeah, still not worthwhile. And look at this. There's so many Hellions from Marinelord, actually. That Jakji, with this little kind of push he's going across the map with this, because he's got into faster tank production on his opponent. He's trying to punish his opponent, but realistically, I don't think he can. His opponent now has a Raven as well, so, you know, he's actually beaten in terms of Sky Army, which means his tank isn't then going to be that useful because he isn't going to have vision. His Marines will absolutely melt this number of Hellions, and Marinelord gets into a good spot at the start of this game, and it looks as though he will play mech as he continues on here, and that was pretty... that was looking as though it was going to be pretty standard as well, as we saw the... I mean, this number of Vikings really establishing his air control early on, which is so important when you do play this mech composition. Now, we do have Jakji. He's going to send out another Banshee to just try and harass a little bit here. Oh, is this really going to get intercepted? I mean, it's more or less going to fly straight into this Raven and these Vikings, and it should just die. I mean, the Raven is here as well, and yeah, that's going to be a dead Banshee. Poor Jakji tries to cloak it, but things really aren't going his way right now, and Marinelord has a significant advantage, and a significant advantage is always great. Now, he can't exactly break Jakji, but he doesn't want to. He's playing mech. He's the player who wants to just, you know, play it slow anyway. And the fact he's got map control, supply advantage, faster 3rd base very soon as well when he's playing mech against Bio, because Jakji has added on barracks. That is all very good for him. And look how late Jakji's stim is going to be. That's not going to be finished until 14 minutes and 20 seconds. That is huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, Jakji isn't realistically going to be able to make any kind of attack worthwhile for at least 3 more minutes, which means Marinelord is just completely free to do whatever he feels is best. And he actually, look at this, just, you know, he asserting his air dominance here. And Jakji has to land his Viking, in fact. And again, no stim, so these Marines can't really chase these Vikings too far. What's this? Another Banshee coming around the map for Jakji, and a Raven as well. So, I mean, he's sending these around. He's going to just try and harass a little bit. And, you know, a few worker kills could definitely bring him back in this a bit. He has evened up the worker count quite well, considering he was behind earlier in the game from that early damage Marinelord did. And here we go. These turrets coming down, and a couple of Hellions and a tank look as though they will slowly clean this up. They're taking quite a while to do it. Jakji is pushing across the map. He has got a decent tank count. He's got 4 tanks. But again, with air control, it's very hard to see him really being able to push up here. And again, he still doesn't have stim. He still doesn't have combat shields. And the only thing is, for Marinelord, he doesn't actually see this coming, so Jakji gets a siege on the low ground. A scan now comes down, and oh no, the tank! Siege is in range of Jakji's tanks, and this is a bit of a miscontrol. In fact, he doesn't even siege his next tank. And these Hellions, are they going to be enough? Are they going to be able to close the distance here onto the tanks? It looks as though he will be able to. These Vikings land for a couple of moments here, but the rest of these tanks will all now just go down, and they're going to get cleaned up. And Jakji does even up the supplies here, but he's going to lose all of his tanks. He kills off a couple of Vikings. He kills off the tanks of Marinelord, but of course Marinelord, with 2 Tech Lab factories, will be able to reproduce tanks very, very quickly compared to Jakji, who's going to make 1 tank at a time here. And I don't really know who that was better for, really, in the end. I mean, he killed a good number of workers, but they're even on worker counts, and guess who is about to start taking the 3rd base? Yes, it's Marinelord. Jakji's 3rd base is only just about to finish up in the production tab, so he's going to take his 3rd base a little bit after Marinelord, and, you know, that's not really too bad, but again, Marinelord is playing mech here, and he is looking so solid while playing this mech style so far. You know, if only he had a slight idea that Jakji was moving across the map, he could have had siege tanks, and Jakji wouldn't have gotten this position down here. It wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad. Marinelord would have had a lot more longer to really respond to what Jakji was doing and just, you know, positionally play it out. And he is starting up a Hellbat drop right now. Has he researched his Infernal Pre-Igniter? Yes, he has. So he's got Blue Flame on these Hellbats, which does make him a little bit scary, especially when there's not really any defense here in this natural mineral line. Good for your SCVs transferring over, but he might have to transfer them back if a big shot goes off from these Hellbats. The supply is still fairly even here, which again I feel is good for the mech player, because his army in a straight up fight is just better. And of course, it's going to be Jakji. He's going to look to use his mobility to really abuse Marinelord and try and do whatever he can. And Hellbat drop comes in, and you know, that's some good work. The kill's coming down, considering he picks up and gets out of there with absolutely no damage taken to his drop. This was really, really nice. A single Hellion coming around this side. Thought it may have been another drop, actually. And, oh, here we go, back into the natural. And Jakji, was he paying attention? It doesn't look like a huge amount of workers being killed. And Marinelord takes a 20 worker lead following this harassment. This one poor Hellbat just wishes he'd gone to the gym a little bit more so he could caught up with them SCVs. But wow, you know, one more Hellbat drop in here. These SCVs are so damaged, they would all go down. That's really kind of scary for Jakji, who is not going to be able to push into Marinelord right now because Marinelord has such a good setup of tanks. I mean, he's going to start moving forward a little bit here, but tanks are sieged, and I mean, he sees this. He realistically knows he can't actually do this, and this is the problem on this map. What does he do about it? I mean, he can't really come in this direction because the tanks almost cover this kind of entrance into the natural anyway. He can't come this way because the tanks, guess what, basically cover this. And there's actually no way to penetrate 3 bases of Marinelord right now. There's a bunch of turrets in the main, so, you know, a big drop would help. But, you know, it looks as though Marinelord's been very good with his air control still. He's been keeping on top of it. And, oh my god, he's going to find the drops of Jakji already. And, you know, that's one way Jakji can definitely do some damage here by, you know, doing a big drop into the main base. But it looked there as though Marinelord saw that medevacs. Now, is he not going to click? Is it not going to click for him? Jakji actually just moves back and brusquely away, realizing this isn't actually going to work out at all. And, well, Marinelord. Well, 4th base will start up for Jakji here. Do we see a 4th CC? Yes, we see a 4th and a 5th CC for Marinelord. So again, he's just keeping up his production. He doesn't really need to rush over to the 4th base, but once he can, it's going to be good for him. It might actually be a bit difficult to take this 4th base when you consider that, well, it kind of depends. I mean, as long as a big army of Jakji doesn't come around this side, a couple of tanks positioned with a planetary should be more than enough to actually defend that kind of area. Because again, you can only really get attacked from this way or this way, or drop in the middle of the line. Like 2 tanks, one on either side of a planetary maybe, would probably be more than enough. Oh, how about drop over here? Didn't quite see that one coming in. 27 workers killed so far in that game. I don't think that one actually killed too many. Jakji not going back into SCV production right now. And Marinelord is maxed with a mech army. Pulling some SCVs, he's going to start moving out here. And, well, this is a big army for Jakji coming around the north side of the map. But this is a huge army of Marinelord coming down the south side of the map. And guess what? Jakji is going to have his production cut off. And this could very well turn into a base race. A base race where, guess who has already the control in the air? Marinelord. And that's very, very important here. As tank actually doesn't manage to siege up in time on the high ground. So production's going to be camped here. Or at least production's going to be forced to lift. Could maybe land over here. Jakji has supply blocks, so he can't actually make any more right now. Marinelord has a lot of money. And, I mean, a couple of tanks. If Marinelord, I would love Marinelord to send 2 or 3 more tanks back here. Because 3 more tanks here, and this base is actually more or less impenetrable by this amount of army which is here. And Jakji's going to start losing his own production soon. I mean, not that he could really make anything. Well, he can now that these SCVs are starting to die. He's been supply blocked for quite some time. And we are heading into this base race right now. SCVs are kind of pulled to tank a little bit. I think they were probably meant to actually go and repair the tanks, but it didn't actually end up happening. And, you know, this isn't really that big an army for Jakji over here. As these barracks start to land, we're seeing Hellions coming out en masse. And Hellions, a good amount of them, will probably do decent work, decent damage to this overall. Jakji evacuating to outward bases for himself. He's already building, oh look at this, so smart to build the double starport, and just, he's already got cloaks, so if he can just build Banshees, then he's going to be in a good spot here. And he's evacuating pretty much anything. Oh, he's actually making Vikings so that he can win the air war. That's interesting because, you know, Marinelord can't actually build anything more, I don't think. He really is stuck, and he's really focusing a bit too much on the main base. He's not thinking about, you know, going and shutting down wherever these buildings or SCVs have gone off to. And if only he knew where these were. I mean, SCV's coming over now, and this could be huge because if he sees all of this up here, he's going to know he needs to move very, very quickly. He still has an air advantage for a little while. Does he still have his Raven out on the map? Yes, he does. Where is that? I have no idea where the Raven is. Surely it's with this army somewhere. It must be with the army. Yeah, it's still with the Vikings, in fact. So he's still actually got a better air army, whatever kind of gets made actually, because... Oh, and look at Marinelord, he's even making an engineering bay because he knows the possibility of Cloak Banshees is quite high. Marinelord just slowly taking out the depots over here. Jakji slowly building up an air army to the north with these Vikings. But Marinelord is going to be able to siege on this base, and he's actually going to come up here. He's going to drop Hellbats on top of these tanks. He's going to clean out this part of the army. Here comes Jakji in here, but PDD is going to mean that Marinelord will win the fight in the air. And Marinelord crushes through Jakji's army here. This is going to be game number 1, surely, to Marinelord. There's a single planet before us, but what else does Jakji have? Nothing. He's got a orbital command surrounded by factories, and that is absolutely it. Planetary Fortress is down. Jakji, what else do you have? Please show me something. Show me what you have left. 3 Marines aren't going to help. The orbital command over here is going to explode, and whoa, that flew quite a distance. Oh, that Marauder now got hit in the head. Bloody hell. How far does an exploding orbital command fly? Jakji with another Viking coming out here, and I mean, again, he's slowly winning this battle in the sky, and there's not actually anything which shoots upwards, I guess, from Marinelord. But he's got a base. He's got mules mining. He can make SCVs eventually. And, I mean, yeah, eventually Marinelord will just win in this kind of situation. Oh, and look at Jakji. He tries to actually put down this starport here and go for a Cloak Banshee, but, you know, he just can't. He tries desperately to drop some mules now to the north side, but Marinelord is going to come forward here. He's going to push on forward. He's going to come in towards this base. He finds it immediately, and Jakji deals off 4 mules, which are not going to pay off here. He actually uses them to repair his orbital command. I think that's his last orbital. Oh, the Hellbat! Right in position to spot this tech lab coming down. And again, Jakji just can't find a way right now. I mean, the only thing he can realistically do, I suppose, is just... Well, I mean, he can float buildings for a while. Marinelord has to he has to notice this. Yeah, he's got tanks coming over. He should be able to kill off this, and he does. And again, I mean, even if Jakji can get a tech lab down, he doesn't have the supply count to be able to build a Banshee. And again, I think this is probably game. We still have a Marine and a Marauder over here. A couple of Marauders and a Marine just working away on Marinelord's base. And Marinelord slowly building depots over on this side of the map. That's actually going to get found over here. And look at this, he's just getting into Viking production himself. He knows what he needs to win this game, and that is just something to shoot up and shoot down these remaining buildings. I mean, he's done a good job so far. Jakji has his own Vikings on top of these tanks, but that really just reveals to Marinelord where they are, and 4 full health Vikings of Marinelord will be able to take down them Vikings, no problem. Marinelord supply blocked again as this Marine and Marauder duo come in. It looks as though this Medevac's trying to scout, but he's going to see he actually thought that was a drop, but it wasn't. GG! Ladies and gentlemen, Marinelord takes game number 1. Wow. Wow. What a game number 1. What a crazy game number 1. Are you guys with me? How sick was that? What a sick TVT to get things going. Wow. Wow. Wow, that was a killer game. And there's our invite to game 2 on Frost. Now, if we saw a game like that on Merry-Go-Round, what are we going to see here on Frost? I do not... I really do not know. Is the Muslim being streamed anywhere? I don't know, Benchy. I get the feeling he probably will not, because the loser matches generally aren't being streamed. But if he wins against Avocado, he'll probably come out in the decider match against Marinelord or Jakji. So, again, I can't really tell you that right now. Sorry. You should go check out Rich's If you go to the TL live report thread and go to the top, there's a link to Rich's kind of game finder, where he pulls the data from all the streams and lets you know what games are happening. So maybe check there. That might be your best bet. Alright, so we're waiting for game number 2 to start. We're in the lobby. I'm not too sure what we're waiting for. Maybe some French casters to get for Marinelord or so. But wow. This is crazy. Crazy, 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 because Jakji is 1-0 down. Ladies and gents, are you ready for game number 2? Let's hear some cheers. I mean, we had King of the Hip Hop going for Marinelord in the middle of the game there. And BT Cox just tuned into this game. Wow, yes, wow, that was quite a spectacle. I mean, the whole game was actually just so well played by Marinelord. Jakji didn't look like he had a chance. He had to base trade. But I even feel like Marinelord could have done a better job. He had tanks which were just dying because they weren't sieged in the main. He could have sent like 3 tanks home and just sat on his third base with them maybe, and that would have just made his, it really would have stopped Jakji just doing that much damage and it going that far. But he didn't need to in the end. He had more than enough to make things work out for himself, and that was game number 1. So, game number 2, I really wonder if we're going to see anything different here. Let's get in this game and find out. Guys, in the lower right-hand corner, the Red Terran player from Millennium. 1-0 up right now in this best of 3. It's Marinelord. Wow. So, guys, who's a Marinelord fan in here? If you guys are a Marinelord fan, now's your time to start cheering a little bit, start shouting, and let's hear his name go wild in the chat. If my bot bans you, I will unban you, so just go wild in the chat for Marinelord right now. Woo! Woo! Marinelord. Woohoo! France represent! In the lower left-hand corner, the blue Terran player from My Insanity. Guys, he's 1-0 down. He needs your support. It's Jakji. And what was this? Is this gas first again? What's going on here? No, this is gas first, right? No, 15 gas from Marinelord. Complete change of pace. He went gas first last time, but this build is much more economically focused. It's going to get him a fast CC, but he's still going to head into most likely a 1-1-1 build. And again, this is the beauty of TVT. I talked about that loads at the start of last game, but this is the beauty of TVT. You can just build a gas at a different time and go for something similar, but your economy is just in such a different place. This is why TVT is amazing in the early game. TVT early game has to be the best early game. TVT and PvP is just so dynamic. And then TVZ late game. Unless it's a good TVT. Oh, you know what? TVT overall may just be my favourite matchup. Let's shut up. Jakji's opening with a Reaper, so that's what that was. A 12 racks, 12 gas. And opening with a Reaper so you can scout about and see what's going on. Remember last game, Jakji did take a lot of damage from that first drop of Marinelord. He kind of did this build which felt as though it was there to stop any kind of Banshee play. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, I'm here to stop Banshee play, and you're just dropping me with Marines and Hellion, and you actually just have way more than me. And he killed about 8 SCVs, and it was really, really nice. So, Jakji this time with his Reaper, he's keeping it at home. He's actually already scouted over here with an SCV. What's that being killed off by? The Marines? It must have been the Marines. So, he knows where his opponent is. He waits to shut down the Reaper scout of his opponent, and now he's going to head across the map and jump on up into the main base and try and get a little bit of scouting done. See this command center is the main thing he's going to want to see. He wants to know how quickly his opponent is expanding or how aggressive he wants to be, and he's going to come around this way, and that means he's actually going to get straight into the main base. Marines aren't in position to defend him. A good little gamble by Jakji to come around this way, and he will end up seeing absolutely everything here. Starts kiting away with this Reaper, and he will get a Marine as well, so good control by Jakji. And ooh, needs to be careful though. Is he going to get cut off? Yes, he is! Reaper goes down. Whoa, that's like the second Reaper in like an hour we've seen, which is just overcommitted and gone down. Bunny with his Reaper before overcommitted as well in first series of this final set of games today. Okay, well, 4 Marines are just moving forward here for Jakji. He's going to sit at the top of this ramp, or in fact, he's actually going to move down this ramp. He's actually going to move. Is he going to move across the map? He's just going to take the tower. Taking the tower is pretty smart because if a Hellion comes across from that barracks, because of the line of sight blocker, he can literally wait until the Hellion gets here, and then you can go step, and that's pretty much one dead Hellion. In fact, we're pretty much gonna see this right now. This is gonna maybe be pretty cool. He sees it, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he just misses it. Just doesn't get the Hellion there, but again forces it back, and does a bit of damage, and now he just falls back. So really cute little early game here from Jakji to be able to just turn his opponent away a little bit. A cute little bit of micro. You know, it takes so much control and just focus to do that, because if you're sat there and you know, you're back at home not paying attention, then all of a sudden, boom, your Hellion, your Marines are just roasted. And I really like this too, putting the mine down to try and zone out the Hellions as they head towards the tower. It would definitely catch a lot of players off guard, because I mean, if I'm a Terran player and I'm here with my Hellions, oh, take the tower, A-click over there, and again, Jakji on top of the ramp shuts down this Hellion player. And look at, I mean, this is just great zoning, right? Because he knows they can't come through the middle of the map unless they get blown up by a mine, so the only way Hellions can come into his base is down here, and he just positions his Marines on top of that ramp. Beautiful, actually. Really, truly beautiful. And there we go. Kaboom. Bye-bye, Hellion. And that's going to be a scan to clean that up, at least. Unless we actually see a Raven coming out. What's actually going on? Well, Marinelord's actually going for Cloak Banshees this game. What's going on for Jakji? He's gone into the... Okay, he's just playing Reactor Marine with tank opening and fast third base, fast third CC. So he's going to take the economy lead in this game. It's going to be so important here for Marinelord to do damage with this Banshee, because he's committing a lot into this tech, while Jakji is simply saying, right, I am going into Cloak, I'm going into fast third CC, and my economy is going to be rich. I'm going to be rich from my economy, you know, it's going to be booming, it's going to be awesome. So it's really, really important, I feel, for Marinelord to get damage done with this Cloak Banshee, because if he doesn't, you know, that's a lot of resources wasted. And guess what? Spotted. Guess what? Actually going to go down to Marines. That's not what he wanted at all. That is in fact possibly the worst possible scenario. If I was Marinelord now, I think I actually cancel the second Banshee and cancel the Cloak. I mean, what are you gonna... I mean, you've already lost one Banshee, and yeah, there you go. He cancels it and he throws down the Raven instead. It's just not worth the investment anymore. Oh, Marinelord's just falling apart right now. It's another little loss here for no real reason. Going into a Raven, it looks as though he's going to play mech again as he adds on his factories, and Jakji once again going to play bio, but from a much better scenario this game. I mean, he's only behind 3 SCVs, his third base is so much faster, he's going to have a much better economy than the mech player, which is exactly what he needs. And I actually like this map so much better for playing bio or marine tank against mech, because just think about it a little bit, as this Viking is very annoying. Why did this Marine kill off the first Viking? No, I don't know what it died to. He must have died to something, right? No, there's actually still 2 on the map, so he's just being very, very safe with that. Auto turret comes down, and this Banshee just going to sit on that to stay safe. But, yeah, really kind of, really cool. I don't know why Marinelord is actually blocking this passageway with his barracks. If anything, it's himself that wants to be doing that, because his Hellions are the ones that are going to be coming over here and harassing. Jakji's starting to move out to just take his third base, and I mean, with this tank setup, of course, nothing will really penetrate this. Marinelord, where's his third CC? It's on the way, so he's not going to be too far behind, considering he's 4 SCVs ahead still right now. He's not going to be too far behind his third CC. You know, it's about right for a mech player, really. As Jakji, again, going to have a very late stim in this game, just because of the way he opened, really. With the 1-1-1 style, you know, your stim isn't the fastest. Doesn't really need to be, I suppose. This is a ton of Hellions. They're going to get shelled in 3, 2, 1, boom, boom, boom. And that's a Hellion down. Only a Hellion, and he knows exactly where his opponent is. As these Hellions are going to head away and head off. Single Marine left on the tower here. And these Hellions are actually just going to start splitting up a little bit. So Marinelord, what's he? Is he control grouping these separately? No. He's not. I always find it interesting just see how the pro players control group. It's really cool. And it really lets you know exactly how they want to use these kind of things, because, or, you know, because now to use these, Marinelord actually has to, like, if he's over here, blah, 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 from Hellions or Macro, he actually has to come all the way over here on the mini-map and then select them like that, because he hasn't got them hotkeys. So it's kind of interesting. I feel, you know, I couldn't do that if I was playing, but clearly this is the way he plays, and of course that's very different. Hellbat drops are going to start up here. We have once again got that Infernal Pre-Igniter done and set. The +1 a lot later here for Marinelord than it was in game number 1, but again, I mean, we still don't even have Stim on the map for Jachi, but they will be there soon. It's +1 armor starting up here as well. I mean, again, a very slow opening for both players because they opened with these 1-1-1 style of builds, which doesn't really give you kind of the craziest economy. It just puts you in kind of a safe defensive position against most things, or a very aggressive position. So, you know, they're not there to give you huge amounts of economy. They're there to give you an advantage either by deflecting aggression or by being aggressive yourself. Single Marauder chased away here and actually picked up by Jachi. You know, that Marauder, he's important. You know, he's worth the save. And I mean, Jachi's starting to push across the map, and Marinelord, I think, just maybe a little bit too far behind. I mean, he's playing mech and he's actually being out-tanked by Jachi. Jachi has 2 more tanks than his opponent right now. The air advantage is there for Marinelord. He will now start setting up this tank line. Jachi scans, he realizes he can't actually push into this, so it looks as though Marinelord is safe. And at the same time, Hellbat drop actually in the main base. This is actually doing a lot of damage. As have we even missed one of these already? This Hellbat's already got 9 kills, and I guess we've actually missed the star base. Wow, very sorry about that, because that's pretty huge. But oh, the huge doom drop into the main, and this is gigantic. What does Marinelord do about this? Wow, this is absolutely huge. I mean, this is a ton of units here in the main base. A couple of Hunter Seeker missiles will come down. They will weaken a couple of these tanks. But look at all the production that's going down. This is 2 factories dead already, or is it? Depends if Jachi target fires. He's actually just going to try and trade against these units now. He will get a second factory, definitely. So Marinelord needs to rebuild these almost immediately. As is he just going to unsiege and pick up and leave, or he's just going to leave this here because he knows it's expensive to come in and clean this up. Drops on top of tanks, but with Marauders here, it's actually not that sick a trade. And look at this over here, tanks as well on the third base being cleaned up by SCVs. Jachi's in a hugely good position this game around, and yeah, this is a much better showing from him here on Frost. Marinelord really not showing the same. Just really, if you looked at game number 1 and then looked at game number 2, you would actually think that the Red Terran player Marinelord here was a different player, because game 1 was perfectly executed. It was beautiful. It was like, you know, you couldn't find a crack in his armor, and here he just seems to be falling apart in numerous different ways. Jachi will stim in, he takes out pretty much all of the tanks which are sieged, and that means it's pretty much it for Marinelord. When you lose your tanks, GG, well played. And that is game number 2 gone to Jachi, which evens up this best of 3. Exciting or what? I call that exciting. Very exciting, actually. Wow. And we're going to get game 3 invited to you in a minute. Yeah, so get an invite, and we should be all set to go into this 3rd game. And there's an invite onto Overgrowth. So another fairly standard map here. I say fairly standard. At the start of the day, I was actually amazed because we hadn't seen Overgrowth for a whole 3 series, or 4 series, I think it was, before we saw it. I think the first time we saw it was in MC versus Oz, maybe even. I can't quite remember, but anyways, it was quite a while. But pretty standard here to see Frost and Overgrowth being used in the same map pool, and interesting to see what how this is going to go. Will I cast a Muslim Avocado game after this game? No, I will not, because I'm pretty sure it's already taking place right now. I will probably cast, I don't know what I'm going to cast, it depends what games are open. I may cast the loser of this against the winner of Avocado de Muslim, but I'm not 100% right now. Again, it kind of depends what other streams want, what the mainstream takes as well. Again, I just have to, I'm like 7th on the picking order of games, so I literally have to say, like, I literally just have to wait to see what everyone else takes, and then I take whatever's left over. So, but the last match will be decider matches, not loser matches or anything, so that will be, it'll be one of the decider matches from the groups here. Alright, let's get into the game, guys. In the lower left-hand corner, we have the Red Terran player who took game number 1 very convincingly, but in game number 2 kind of fell to pieces. It's Marinelord. In the upper right, we have the blue Terran player from My Insanity. It's Jachi. The player I think a lot of people would be expecting to actually move on through here today. Though that being said, you know, he hasn't been as strong as we would have liked to see him be lately. He fell out of WCS around a 32 pretty quick. And yes, it is 1-1 Togi SC2. It is 1-1 indeed. As I've got barracks coming up for both of these players. No gas first. And interestingly, it's a 13 gas from Jakji. So the first player to throw down his gas. Now, I wonder if over here, Marinelord's going to throw down a 15 gas as well. Because he did last game. And, you know, his opening was okay, I think, last game. I think it was his follow-up which really started to hurt him. And yeah, it's going to be a 15 gas from him as he's clicked on that refinery. That must be a SCV rally. And yes, so he's going to throw down his gas here. The main thing for Marinelord is just cutting out the silly mistakes from last game. I mean, he invested into Cloak Banshees and had to cancel it because he lost his first Banshee. So, you know, there's a couple of things which he has to just sharpen up on if he really wants a better shot at Game 3 like he had in Game 1. Because again, in Game 1, it was perfect. He executed everything perfectly. He wasn't able to be attacked in any way until it turned into the base trade. And then he dealt with the base trade very well. He was looking at all the options. He was, you know, ticking off things from the list as well. And as this Marine pops out, this SCV should go down. Marine just testing the range of that SCV there at its last little shot. Couple of Marines now. Yeah, there probably wasn't a stream for the Muslim game because there's 6 or 7 English streams, and generally that means with 8 groups, everyone just basically jumps into the winner games. That's what usually happens because the winner games are played the same time as the loser games. So that's probably why you couldn't find the Muslim versus Avocado. What's going on in this game? Factory down here for Jakji with a second gas. An unexpected faster expand out of Marinelord with that 15 gas opening. Reactor on the barracks going to get a good few Marines out here to begin with. And heading to the factory and starport himself. So again, similar opening to what he did in game number 2. And just kind of expecting him to go on pretty normally here, I feel. Probably just go for something the same as what he did last game. Pulls his mule away. So doesn't waste any of the minerals in his main base. And yeah. Alright, I mean, let's see what actual matchup is going to be here. It looks as though it's going to be a Cloak Banshee out of Jakji. He's also starting up some mines. He really likes his mines, and I loved what he did with it last game. Where what am I saying? What was I talking about? Mines, yes. The mines last game were fantastic from Jakji. You know, his zoning with them was just like on another level. You know, he basically zoned out the map, so he knew the only way Marinelord could come across the map towards him. So let's see where he places it here this time around. He's actually just going to cover his ramp, which is pretty smart as well. That means, you know, if you actually want to come towards his natural, you actually have to come the long way around, which of course kind of sucks. Unless you drop into the main, but not the best map for actually dropping on. You know, there's no real way to elevate her up, apart from maybe here, but it's in sight, and you know, it's not as good as other maps for elevator players. First Banshee coming out now, and Jakji has the map control so that you can send this pretty much just directly across the map. Has Cloak on the way, has a Raven coming out as well. Now, what does Marinelord have back at home? Has he already got a Raven out? Because he's got a Tech Lab starport. No, he doesn't, so no Raven just yet, but he's got the possibility to make one. And where's his anti? Yeah, I mean, he's only got a handful of Marines. And he's going to have the Viking too, of course. I mean, he should be okay here. The Banshee's going to come in. He's going to get, what, 2-3 kills here before it gets turned away. 1, 2, and this is going to be number 3. And now it's going to get turned away. Actually doesn't get number 3. Now it's going to stop being attacked. Raven starts up for Marinelord, but it's going to be quite some time until they can truly shut down this Cloak Banshee. And picks off a couple of Marines, so Jakji doing some decent damage for his investment here early on, and he needs to do damage, right? Because this natural expansion came down so quickly for Marinelord, and Jakji, his expansion is only going to land in another minute or so. And this Banshee going to head across the map now, and head back across the map, and head back to its main base. And yeah, I mean, a smart thing to do because he probably saw that there was a Tech Lab on starport. He knows a Raven's coming out. He doesn't want to just get caught and lose the Banshee for no reason. He's actually going to turn around and may look to poke towards the natural again in the near future when Marinelord isn't exactly sure when Marinelord isn't sure exactly where that Banshee is. Single Marine here, swatting anything of Jakji moving out across the map. Marine looks as though it wants to go for this tower build. Be turned away by Marine of Jachi. And yeah, really kind of cute. Just kind of really battling for the map control throughout this series. Like, all of the time. It's always about this battle for map control, it seems. And it's very important to these guys. As I now see a bunch of Hellions just going to head across. And again, need to be careful with this mine, which is positioned here. Which is, again, quite a nice place to put it. And it completely zones out this one pathway from left to right. And between the towers. And Marine will just send the barracks out as well. Just looking to, again, to be able to scout out any drops which are coming in. And fail pre-igniter. And so again, just Marine Lord looking to play mech. Going into reacted Vikings. Probably just going to react to these out until he feels the need to put a factory on there instead. But again, he's going to have good air control here. As Jachi, once again, plays Bio. Or some kind of marine tank combination. A third CC coming up quickly once again. So a very similar style of play, or very similar thought process coming out of Jachi. He's just saying, right, well, you know, if very early on I get these tanks out, I'm pretty defensive, I'm going to be pretty safe from most things, so I can afford to just get a third CC down nice and quickly. If you see a third CC coming down here from Marine Lord, Jachi will delay that for a little while here. Vikings and Raven coming across to try and chase down that Banshee. It's going to run out of energy. How far are the Vikings going to chase? They went a bit of the wrong direction there, so this Banshee may very well just get away. He's going to keep moving though. And Jachi with his own air army. Going to be important to try and keep on top of that, I feel, playing against this mech. And Marine Lord's not going to be able to catch that Banshee. It seems it's just going to sneak away to the top, to the right hand side. So that's pretty key. The Banshee staying alive. I mean, if the Banshee stays alive, it means that it's going to be useful again a little bit later on. You know, it could come into the third base before a turret goes up, for example. You know, there's a couple of things it can do to do a bit of extra damage. Right now, though, we're level pegging in this game. 45 SCVs apiece. Third base is, Marine Lord didn't start rebuilding that for quite some time. So, third base is coming down faster here for Jachi, definitely. But again, the mech player Marine Lord's going to have a stronger army. So, taking his third base a little bit slower isn't exactly going to be the end of the world for him here either. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get picked apart by Jachi. Like in that last game where the drops just came into his main, did a lot of damage, and then all of a sudden he was losing everything at his third base as well. So he needs to be able to make sure he can hold off when Jachi decides to start going for these kind of big pushes. Bunch of Hellions going to sit around on this tower right now. A couple of mules starting to drop over here. This Raven looking as though it might come in from Jachi and just harass with some auto turrets. You know, auto turrets are actually very annoying to clean up, but that being said, these Vikings are here, and if that Raven reveals itself, that's going to be one very dead Raven very quickly. Jachi, look at this, prepared for the Hellbat drops. You know, he's gone through this routine with Marine Lord twice now. And now on the third time, he's like, right, okay, you like to Hellbat drop me? Cool. This time, I'm genuinely ready for it, so please do. You know, turret in the mineral line, a couple of workers here, units here already for bunker on the way up, but he just actually boosts past and goes to the undefended natural. Well, I mean, what can you say? And this natural is actually very saturated. And SCV's going to start going down. Jachi not being the fastest to react lately, or at least today. And he's going to lose a good few SCVs here to these Hellbats. Look at this, picks up, and now he's going to go towards this third base where he might be able to just pick off a couple more SCVs, and he does just about, picks off a couple more. Heads over here. We'll get cleaned out by these Vikings in a moment, wherever they are. They must be heading over to clean this out, and yeah, there they are. So, Hellbats go down, tries to boost away, doesn't quite make it. Not the end of the world. This Raven's still just sitting over here, not really doing too much. This mine's still here from earlier in the game as well. And, ooh, kaboom. Were you expecting that, Josh? I don't think you were. But that being said, I don't think Marine Lord really actually wanted to trade all of these Hellions for really nothing. That was a mistake from him, a big overcommitment, and that's about, you know, that is about 20 supply of units there. So that's what this supply gap currently is. The loss of those Hellions now, they weren't exactly the most expensive of units, but it's not ideal to lose your, just lose a whole chunk of Hellions, which could have been Hellbats, and I mean, Hellbats are damn good. Gonna get mine again once again here after this Banshee has been annoying again. Again, keeping this alive has been so useful. 14 kills throughout the game. It's definitely paid its weight in gold. And continues to get some kills in here. And, well, what's this? Vikings. Oh no, PTG though means that the drop is just going to come in very simply. And Marine Lord is kind of desperately coming in here. He's going to desperately try and get his tanks sieged up in a position where he's going to be able to defend. Well, the tanks for his opponent are going down pretty quickly. A nice combination of the anti-seeking missiles there and other splash damage, and he actually deals with this drop very, very well, I feel. But oh my god, this Banshee is still killing over here. It's on 30 kills, 31 kills before this turret finishes. Oh no, this is not what Marinelord needed. He should have really had that turret there. This was a huge mistake by him, and 32 worker kills for Jakji. Takes a worker lead, takes a pretty significant supply lead, 40 supply up. Despite what seemed to be a good trade from Marinelord in the main, that Banshee doing work over here, really making the difference. And I mean, here we go. I mean, Jakji's going to move out on the map. He's got a lot of Marauders out. Do we see a Raven still? Yes, we do. So I mean, PDDs are going to be absolutely key in any kind of fight. Scan goes down. Where is it going down? Just checking the tower. Because, I mean, Marinelord has no map control right now, and that's really kind of a scary concept, to not know where your opponent is. You have no idea where the next attack's going to come from. He's got no idea, you know. For all he knows, it definitely could be coming down this way, and that's why he's scanned it. That's why he's put this Hellbat here. But in fact, it's coming down this side, and, well, you know, he's pretty protected in this direction. He's got a lot of tanks sieged up. His third base is more than safe. And a scan for Jakji before he commits to any kind of attack. And he's just going to back off from here, you know. It's free to walk your units around, and that's exactly what Jakji is exercising right now. Just moving around, being a threat, and saying to Marinelord, you want to take a fourth base? It's not going to be easy, buddy. It's not going to be easy at all. And as Marinelord actually unsieges, and okay, now he sieges again. I was about to say, these guys are... these guys are going to kill the rocks together and join up in harmony in the middle, but both of them decide to stop on that idea. Jakji continues to just move around the map, and he's looking as though he's going to try and come in from two... You know, he could set up a huge flank. He could come in from maybe this direction if he can clear these rocks. The top, the north, and maybe from the east from the third base. That being said, there's just another drop heading towards the main right now, and this is probably going to do a fair amount of damage. That being said, Hellbats are already coming in and looking as though they're going to be able to clean this up without too much of a difficulty. Vikings clean up as well. But this is the opportunity Jakji's waiting for to just stim in. Oh no! He's unsieged a lot of his tanks! Is it enough? No. Jakji is not going to be able to do it, and he does actually fall back here. Turrets being killed off here forces these turrets to be remade, because again, Marinelord doesn't want to be dropped here anymore. And Jakji just going to back off. This game is starting to even out a little bit in terms of the supplies. Upgrades are well in the favour of Jakji though. 2-2, about to be 2-0 for the mech in town. So that's a little something here. +3 on the way for Jakji, then +1 mech weapons too. Playing pretty much more or less pure Marauder. I mean, there's a sprinkling of Marines, a single tank as well. Okay, there's a second tank. Again, another siege up. Again, Jakji really wants to kill this off, because killing this off opens a completely new avenue of attack for him. As Marinelord is going to lose this CC. Wasn't the best place to build, but struggling to build a fourth base here. He's got this one, so he could take this expansion over here, but he really needs to kind of secure this tower before he can do that. And it looks as though he wants to do that through a drop, but the problem is, as soon as he tries to move out, boom, army trying to just counterattack and come in and just, you know, kill him off. So it's kind of really, really tough for Marinelord, but it looks as though he's got enough control now. I mean, these tanks cover this area here. And he's more or less in position. All he needs, and he's got vision over here for Hellbat drop, so he's in an okay spot. And well, Jakji's going to move forward into a lot of tanks here, and I'm not too sure about this. PDD goes down, and Jakji's going to actually lose quite a lot, and he kills what I think only one tank in the end. Definitely not worthwhile. And I mean, this is actually allowing Marinelord to slowly sort of corner Jakji a little bit, you know, not completely, but just slowly. Tank siege up here, and they're just going to slowly work away on this command side. They're going to get the kill on that, but look at this. Marinelord is coming in from the other side. He's going to come in. He's sieging. Hellbats are here to help out the fight. Hellbats are going to drop on top of these tanks as well. Just 2 of them. Okay, he kills one tank. He's kind of like, the Hellbats are like, no, we don't want to do this. Whoa, is tanks in range there? I guess so, just on the edge of the range. And thing is, Jakji's kind of expanding all over the map, while Marinelord is struggling to just get his fourth base established, but he should be in a bit of a better spot now. You know, he's finally really got his own half of the map back under control, and with his half of the map back under control, he should be able to start taking extra expansions, just as Jakji is doing right now. Jakji with still down in supply a bit, but again, his economy is solid, so he's able to keep building quite happily. And oh dear, Jakji's going to come forward. He's going to go for this, but no, he has to turn away almost immediately, in fact. And well, control here is very, very important. You know, all Marinelord really needs to do though is just slowly step these tanks forward. You know, maybe move a few of these over to the right first. And okay, he's just going to start moving forward much slower. And this is kind of scary for Jakji because Marinelord's got this attack coming towards him. And what does Jakji have to stop him coming forward? You know, last time we saw, okay, how do I go what must have been 3 or 4 minutes without realizing a fusion core and battle cruisers coming up in the production tab? I don't know. Has Marinelord got enough anti-air? You know what? I think he actually might, but the Raven goes down before he's able to really do anything with it. Medevac's coming forward to try and tank some of these Viking shots. I think overall Marinelord does lose the air battle, but he kills off this planetary fortress to this side. Okay, he loses the air battle, definitely. Huge amount of Marauders stimming now. More and more Vikings are being made by Marinelord. Do we see any more battle cruisers being made? I don't think we do, but Marinelord just didn't siege up at all in this fight. He will clean up. But that was an expensive loss when he could have been so much easier. I mean, that was a ton of tanks. Banshee's coming out here, and without anti-air again, Marinelord has to be careful. He's got a couple of turrets, but that's about it. He's kind of back off and just stay away from this. Actually taking some damage on these Banshees. These Banshees going to go and hit a base over here maybe, but it looks as though Marinelord's finally getting his anti-air sorted out. 4 Vikings on the way out of time, so yeah, he's going to have a good anti-air army now, with another command center ready to float out as well, and he's got control of this side of the map, so he could take a gold base if he wanted to, if not this base down here. It looks as though did them Banshees just fly into the turret. It's got 1 kill. Hellbat drop over here, cleaned up by the planetary fortress. SCP is repairing. Air battle goes in favor of Marinelord, so he's got vision right now without having to scan any further, which is better for him in the long run, of course. And slowly but surely, Marinelord's going to be able to slowly push forward here. 4 Vikings still being made out of time. Some more tanks edging forward. I'm kind of surprised he's actually sent these. Okay, he wants to kind of camp the starport here. But at the same time, it's very important. Okay, he's left 1 Viking behind just to give himself vision. Jakji's just scanning to see if anything is edging forward and trying to pick off his own tanks. Yes, Haplo SC, he definitely did miss the battlecruiser transition. That's very true. Absolutely huge miss by me. Again, I apologise. And, well, I mean, yeah. This is a little bit troublesome right now. As Jakji is down in supply, he doesn't really have money anymore. He's even on bases. Marinelord even has another expansion ready to move out and take. The air advantage is hugely in favour of Marinelord, which is something which Jakji put a lot of money into tech switching into. But he put a lot of money into tech switching into that, but he's not really able to use it because Marinelord now has the counter with all of these Vikings. A little bit of a drop going on over here. More Vikings still coming out, and 4's coming out as well. And I mean, 4's actually just going to melt these Marauders quite quickly, I believe. And, well, this little group of bios starting to back off, but Marinelord just has this contained set. Let's zoom out a little bit. And, I mean, look at this. I mean, as soon as Jakji makes a medevac, it's just going to go down. So many Vikings. This is now 17 Vikings still in the sky. A couple of them heavily damaged, but that's about it. A bit of bio is going to start fighting against these 4's, but it will just go down. And, what does Jakji do from here? I don't actually think Jakji can move out. He's going to try and come forward as these tanks on siege, and guess what? Marinelord doesn't siege back up. This is pretty huge. This is a break. This is a breakout. Okay, he's got out. Jakji has made it out of his base, which has been crucial for quite some time now for him to do. And can he keep this momentum anyway? I mean, the important thing for Marinelord is not to fall back all this way. He needs to kind of keep some presence in the middle of the map. If he's in the middle of the map, he can kind of cover this line across here, and his bases are pretty much safe. And with a gold base, of course, he's going to start taking a huge lead in the economy. And that'll be very, very useful for furthering himself in this game. As Jakji is moving out, he's got control of this tower, so Marinelord doesn't really spot this right now. He sees nothing at all. As Jakji continues to move forward, he sieges up some tanks, a couple of shots go off on some Hellbats. And this is a little bit interesting. Oh no, the Marauders coming in again. Marinelord is not sieged up once more, and this is going to be another good trade for Jakji. He takes out all of these tanks, and you know, a lot of this army is still just Vikings. And you know, Vikings which are now pretty much useless because Jakji hasn't made any air units for a long time, and Jakji might actually end up doing this here. Marinelord, has he just committed a bit? There was no need for him to continue moving forward there. You know, he didn't need to unsiege. He didn't need to move forward. He had plenty. He's going to start landing his Vikings, and when you land the Vikings, it's never going to go well. They absolutely melt Marauders and tanks, and oh, Marinelord, I felt like he had this. I mean, it's always great to see a player coming into a match as an underdog really put on a showing, but when it slips out of his fingers, by like literally slips out of his fingertips, it's kind of brutal. And well, some more tanks just sieging up here, and tanks gonna fire away at the front of the force. And I mean, Marinelord, I think his time has pretty much come again. He didn't need to push. He had a gold base up. All he had to do was defend for a little while, not take any damage, and he would have maxed out. He would have had a sick army. Oh. Hindsight is everything, of course, and having map hacks, of course, is very important too. Marinelord doesn't know exactly. This is one of them games where, you know, in the situation, he probably thought, oh, I really need to do something a bit more here. But when he looks at the replay, he's going to be looking and just kind of holding his head in his hand in his head, his head in his hand, and just be like, what did I move forward for? Why didn't I just sit back? Why didn't I just see it? Why didn't I just wait? And Marinelord, GG's. Jakji does move on through to the round of 32 group stage 3, and that